How do JavaScript engines optimize object access? Imagine trying to find a book in a library where every shelf is labeled and organized perfectly. JavaScript engines do something similar when they access objects in your code. They use special internal structures called shapes or hidden classes to keep things running smoothly. When many objects share the same set of property keys added in the same order, they share the same shape. This means the engine can quickly locate properties without searching through the entire object every time. Here is how it works. When you create an object, the engine assigns it a shape that describes its structure. Think of it as a blueprint that lists all the properties and their order. If another object has the same properties added in the same sequence, it shares this blueprint. This allows the engine to predict where each property is stored in memory, making access faster. Instead of looking up a property by name each time, the engine uses the shape to jump directly to the property's location. This reduces the time it takes to get data from the object. JavaScript engines also use a technique called inline caching. When the engine accesses a property at a specific site in your code, it remembers the shape of the object at that moment. If the same shape appears again, the engine skips the property lookup and directly retrieves the value. This makes repeated property reads much quicker. There are different types of access based on how many shapes the engine encounters. If it sees only one shape at a property access point, it is called monomorphic, and the engine can optimize very well. If it sees a few shapes, it is polymorphic, and the engine keeps a small cache of shapes and their locations. When many shapes are seen, it is called megamorphic, and the engine cannot optimize as effectively, so it falls back to slower methods. Adding or removing properties or changing their order causes the engine to create new shapes. This can slow things down because the engine has to update its internal structures. To keep things fast, it's best to create objects with a consistent property order and avoid changing their structure after creation. For developers, understanding this means you should define object properties in the same order across similar objects. Avoid adding or deleting properties dynamically after creating objects. Keeping object shapes consistent helps the engine optimize property access, especially when working with many objects or performance-critical code. In the world of JavaScript core concepts, object data types are used everywhere. Property access is one of the most common operations, so these engine optimizations make a big difference. By using shapes and inline caches, engines like V8 can make object property access several times faster. This results in smoother, more responsive web applications. Knowing how JavaScript engines optimize object access helps you write better, faster code that performs well even with many objects.